these three Israeli hostages that were actually killed by Israel soldiers. So the IDF is the Israel army, just in case, you know, knows that, and they should actually make it plainly clear. But I feel like it's just some little wordology there. Um, so this is crazy because this also makes me think of wasn't what's his name? Elon Musk just freaking pouting about how he has the hostages medallion tag and he's not gonna take it off until all the hostages come home. But now it turns out that Israel is killing its own hostages. So what's up with that, dude? Airplane food. What's up with that? All right. Um, can't watch this video, but we got the shorty to come and give us some assistance on these shenanigans, bro. Because it's just straight up shenanigans. How do you accidentally kill your own people? I want to know that. Let's listen. Sorry, it's kind of a lot. It's got to load. It's got to load.
Three is
Oh shoot! No, I thought it was. I'm sorry. Y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard it, right? We was good, and then I restarted it. That's my bad. That's my bad. All right, one more time. Let's try to get some more info about this Israeli killing its own hostages situation.
Three Israeli hostages were shot and killed by Israel Defense Forces troops on Friday during combat with Hamas in the Gaza district of Shujaiya, the IDF said. The three were mistakenly identified as a threat, an IDF spokesperson said on X at 1:17 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. The grave mistake has since prompted an outpouring of anger and grief from Israelis. Here is a timeline of the events that unfolded, starting with when the three hostages were taken. Kidnapped by Hamas. The three killed on Friday were later identified as Alon Shamriz, Yotam Hayam and Samer Talalka. They were all taken by Hamas on October 7 at the start of the war, along with more than 200 other hostages. Shamriz was abducted by Hamas on October 7 from Gaza City, the IDF said. According to the Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum, Shamriz's family lost contact with him at 10:02 a.m. on October 7 after he called his older brother, Yonatan, who told him that the family loves and supports him. Hayam was kidnapped from kibbutz Kfar Aza by Hamas on October 7. He spoke to his family on the day the war began and told them his house had burned down, according to a statement from the Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum. He talked to his parents until 10:44 a.m. when he opened his window and was kidnapped by Hamas. Talalka was kidnapped from kibbutz Nir Am by Hamas on October 7. The eldest of 10 children, Talalka lived in the town of Hura and worked with his father and brothers at a chicken hatchery near the kibbutz, according to a statement from the Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum. He was at the chicken hatchery with his father on October 7 and told his sister on the phone that he had been injured by Hamas gunfire. Then the call disconnected, the statement said. Fled or abandoned. It is still unclear how the three hostages ended up in Shujaiya. IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari said at a press conference Friday that the three either fled or were abandoned by terrorists who held them captive, and during the last few days, or this day, they reached the point they reached. Intelligence that we hold every day. There is a situation assessment regarding both airstrikes and ground action. At the end of the day we estimate that they either managed to escape or were abandoned, and unfortunately the tragic results of the event ended in their deaths, Hagari added, waving white cloth. The three hostages emerged near an IDF position during intense combat taking place between IDF soldiers and Hamas in Shujaiya, an IDF official said Saturday. They were all without shirts, and they have a stick with a white cloth on it, the official said. A threatened IDF soldier opened fire at the group, immediately killing two of the hostages and injuring a third hostage who ran back into the building, the official said. A cry for help in Hebrew prompted a commander to issue a ceasefire, but the third hostage died after another round of gunfire, the official said. It is not clear if the third person died from the second round of gunfire or if he succumbed to injuries from the first one. The official noted that there was a building in the vicinity with the markings of SOS on it and said we're still looking to see if there's a connection between that building and the hostages. This was against our rules of engagement, the official said. I repeat, it was against our rules of engagement. Hagri in his press conference neglected to answer questions about whether IDF soldiers tried to identify the three hostages before firing, and whether the hostages raised their arms and shouted in Hebrew before being fired upon. Suspicions emerge over ID of hostages. Hagri said IDF troops became suspicious about the identities of the three men who were killed. The three bodies were transferred to Israeli territory for examination, at which point it was confirmed they were three Israeli hostages, Hagri said. Hagri said the bodies were identified after they were then taken to the Hatzvi Center at the Shura camp for additional examination. The IDF and Israeli police then notified the families of the deceased. IDF began investigating the incident immediately. The IDF began looking into the incident immediately, Hagri said. The IDF emphasizes that this is an active combat zone in which ongoing fighting over the last few days has occurred, Hagri said. Immediate lessons from the event have been learned, which have been passed on to all IDF troops in the field. Two of the killed hostages identified. The IDF first identified Hayam and Talalka as two of the three killed on Friday. Hayam, who was 28 when he was killed, had long ginger hair and beautiful blue eyes that you could get lost in, according to a statement from the Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum, adding that he was a gifted musician who played drums for 20 years. He was supposed to perform at a metal music festival
Dang.
in Tel Aviv on October 7. Talalka, 25 when he was killed, was an avid motorcyclist who loved to ride around the countryside and spend time with friends, according to a statement from the Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum. In the immediate aftermath, the third hostage's family asked that his name not be broadcast. Yotam Hayam and Samar Talalka. AP.
Dang, bro. This dude right here was a drummer, yo. Shout outs to you, bro. Rock on, man. Rock on. So you got killed by your own niggas, man. It be your own niggas. That's kind of sad, bro. Not kind of, that's very sad. Um he said they said that during the press conference they refused to answer questions about whether or not they were putting their hands up shouting in Hebrew before they were killed. And I get it. You don't really want to answer, it's nobody's business, but it's just like, dude, that's a huge screw up, bro. Right? Just a, oh, that's a, oh, whoops, That's wild, man.